Hey guys, Bird Yugioh here. So here's a deck that I'm really excited about, post ban list, of course. This got some really good cards off the list. Destrudo and Fairy Tale Snow are kind of the heart and soul of this deck. They're really what made this deck good, in my opinion, or playable and pretty good even in today's game. And this deck basically just wants to go second, blow up the board, and OTK. That's primarily what it does. It does it well. Doesn't always OTK, but you can pretty much get to a card that blows up the board. There's like I said, there's like 12 cards in here that can blow up the board, so that you have a very good chance of getting to one of those. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the profile. If you need any of the cards shown in this video, check the link in the description for TCG Player. That's by far the best and cheapest place to get Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So we'll start with the Lightsworn boss monster, which is of course Judgment Dragon. And at 1,000 life points, you just destroy all other cards on the field. It's not once per turn, and you just special summon it from your hand by having 4 or more Lightsworns with different names in your graveyard, which is easier than it sounds. We have a lot of ways of doing that. So yeah, definitely a really good card, and you can special summon multiple ones, use their effects multiple times. As long as you have life points, you can blow up the board with this card. And then for our Lightsworns, 3 Raiden. It's one of your best starter cards. During your main phase, you can just send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. And then during your end phase, you send 2 to the graveyard. Our best card to send to the graveyard or have sent to the graveyard is Wolf, because when it is sent to the graveyard, you just special summon it. Sent from the deck to the graveyard specifically, you can just special summon it. And it's basically just a level 4 extender, but it's 2100 attack, and you have a lot of ways of special summoning it. And then another normal summon that I really like is Lumina. This deck actually does not have too many cards that you can just normal summon. There's a lot that cannot be normal summoned. So I felt like 3 Lumina, 3 Raiden was totally fine. And this is also over a 50 card deck. It's not quite 60. I want to say it's 53 or something like that. So we're totally fine playing 3 Lumina. And then the last Lightsworn is just 1 Felice. You don't really want to ever see it in your hand, and it can, similar to Wolf, it can special summon itself if it's sent from the deck to the graveyard, but it has to be by a monster effect. So cards like Minerva, if they send it, it can special summon, or cards like Curious, but otherwise, if you're using like Charge of the Light Brigade, if that's sent to the grave, it's not special summoned. So it's definitely not as good. But it is another tuner, level 4. Same with Raiden. Raiden is our tuner. And that's it for the Lightsworn stuff. Let me see if I can move these up a little bit. And then for our Chaos part of it, because that just makes this deck so much better, so much more consistent, and it gives it a lot more extenders to go into a lot of different other stuff. So for the Chaos, we play 2 Valkyria. This is basically just a level 4 that you can get out super easily. You just special summon it by banishing either 1 light or 1 dark monster from your graveyard. And then also, if it's banished, you can send any light or dark monster from your deck to the graveyard, but you can't activate its effects this turn. So that's a way, kind of last resort usually. If you did not get a Fairy Tale Snow to the grave, you can always banish this some way. And then send a Snow, and then on your opponent's turn, you'll have a Fairy Tale Snow in your grave. And then we play just 1 Chaos Creator. It's another one, easy access to it. You don't need more than 1. And this one, you have to banish 1 light and 1 dark monster. And then you can target 3 of your banished monsters with different names, special summon 1 of them, and place the rest on the bottom of the deck. So it's just a way of reusing resources that you banished. And then we play 1 Chaos Dragon Levianeer. This you have to special summon from your hand, but again, it's a way of banishing light or darks, and it's super easy to get out. And it's a level 8. Same with Chaos Creator, they're both level 8s. So that'll come up later. And then we play, of course, the one black dragon and the one white dragon. They're, again, very easy to get out. None of these can be normal summoned. So, again, kind of my same thing. This can't be normal summoned. Your wolf can't be normal summoned. Judgment Dragon. A lot of these cannot be normal summoned. So you definitely want at least a few options of cards that can be normal summoned. Because I'd say maybe 1 out of 15 games you're going to play, you might have a hand that's not as playable just because you have too many cards that can't be normal summoned. And then we play 2 Gizmek Orochi, because this one you can special summon from your hand or graveyard by just banishing 8 cards from the top of your deck face down. And then another, again, normal summon, Armageddon Knight. You can send Gizmek Orochi, or obviously one of the best targets is going to be Destrudo, or you can send Blackwing Zephyros the Elite. All really good targets for Armageddon Knight. And again, this is another card yet that we can normal summon. And we like level 4s with this deck because of Minerva. We want to get her out as quickly as possible so we can start loading up that grave. And then for the Performage engine, playing 2 Damage Juggler. You want this in the grave. You can just banish it and then add either Trick Clown or usually it's going to be Hat Tricker from your deck to your hand. Hat Tricker is another just level 4 that you can easily get out. If there's 2 or more monsters on the field, you can just special summon this for free. And then Trick Clown, when it's sent to the graveyard, you can just special summon it. And its attack and defense becomes 0, and you take 1,000 damage. But it's just, again, another free level 4 that you can get out pretty easily. And then, of course, the final card is Fairy Tale Snow. Free summon from the grave, and you can Book of Moon any monster your opponent controls by just banishing 7 other cards from your hand, field, or graveyard. And then special summon it. So really good, just another level 4, easy to get out, good interruption, perfect card. It is quick play. I don't know, I've seen some people have forgot or maybe never played with this card, but it can be used on your turn, your opponent's turn, anytime really. It's not once per turn, so I think that's probably why it's going to be staying at limited, because if you had multiple ones of these in your grave, you could special summon them all. But yeah, amazing card that really helps this deck out a lot. That's all the monsters. It's mostly a monster-based deck. For the spells, best one for Lightsworns, Charge the Light Brigade. It's cost to send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, and then you can just search a level 4 or lower Lightsworn. And that goes great with Solar Recharge, because you discard 1 Lightsworn monster, draw 2 cards, then send 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard. So these are just ways of loading up your graveyard. Hopefully, with like a Fairy Tale Snow, is ideal. We play 3 Chaos Space. We have a lot of monsters in this deck that you could search off of this. And then 2 Pot of Avarice. It's not once per turn, so if you draw both, as long as you have, obviously more than 10 or more monsters in your grave, you can activate this and draw 2. So it's really good in a deck like this that loads up that graveyard. Play the 1 Dragon Ravine and the 1 Terraforming. They're really not needed at more than 1 each. It's basically just a way of getting Destrudo to the grave. You could also send a black or a white dragon. But yeah, it's pretty much just a way of getting Destrudo to the grave. And then playing Harpy's Feather Duster. It's a going second deck, so why not? Foolish Burial to get whatever you need to the grave. A snow if you need it there, or if you need like a free extender, you could always just send Wolf and then special summon it. So basically just a free special summon. And then some more going second cards. We're playing the newly unbanned 3 Regeki. Just again, blowing up the board. That's kind of what this deck does best. And same reason for evenly matched. We want to get rid of every card on the field if we can. So yeah, that is the main deck. And then for the extra deck, most important rank 4 is Minerva, because she can send 3 cards from your deck to the graveyard, and then you can draw cards equal to the number of Lightsworn you sent. And then if this card is destroyed, you can send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard and destroy cards on the field up to the number of Lightsworn sent. So just a really, really good card in general. But basically it's your best starter to just start getting that graveyard filled with monsters. And then our other rank 4 that we're playing is Exciton Knight. Again, we want to blow up that board. So we're going second, we want to blow up the board and OTK. So that's another really good card. And then we play actually quite a few level 8s that we can get to pretty easily. So I've found just having a Hope Harbinger to just help us with, a spell card your opponent's going to play is a nice option. And then for our synchros, we play 2 Black Rose, again, sticking with that theme of blowing up the board. And unless your opponent negates his summon, this effect is going to go through. So if they try to, he's summoned out, they can't impermanence it, they can't effect veiler it, this effect is going to go through because it's when this card is synchro summoned, you destroy all cards on the field. So they have to negate this summon, otherwise everything's getting destroyed on the field regardless of what they play. Shooting Riser Dragon is another decent option for kind of like a last resort for Fairy Tale Snow. So if you absolutely did not get Fairy Tale Snow to the grave, you could always make this, send Fairy Tale Snow to the grave. This will become a level 3 tuner, and then on your opponent's turn, you can special summon that Fairy Tale Snow, and then immediately synchro into, say, like a Black Rose, to just blow up the field again on your opponent's turn. So that's a really nice card for doing shenanigans like that. And then I just wanted another level 7s are so easy to make with this deck. I wanted one to give us a negate, and specifically a spell trap negate was what I was looking for. So Dawn Dragster is a really good option. And it's also kind of a way of getting into Curious, because this needs monsters with the same attribute but different types. And so we have a lot of lights in this deck, and not a lot of machines. So this is a light machine. So sometimes you could do that if need be, but otherwise it's just going to be a negate. And then our level 8 synchros, Borlode Savage, of course, for that really nice negate. But the one you almost always go into is going to be Chaos Ruler, because this is sending 5 cards. It's excavating 5 cards, add 1 light or dark monster to your hand, and send the rest to the grave. So it's loading up the grave, searching you a monster basically, and then you can also send this to the grave and then special summon it back. Just an amazing card for this deck. And then for our links, the most important one is Curious, because when you make this one, you can then just send any card from your deck to the graveyard. And then if a card is sent from the deck to the graveyard, you can send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. So basically you're getting 4 cards to the grave. One of them, obviously that first one you send, if you don't already have it there, is going to be Fairy Tale Snow. And then hopefully the other ones are, Destrudo or like a free summon of a wolf. So yeah, you just have a lot of really good cards to send with this. And then ideally, that's what you want to go into. Obviously, Minerva, and then maybe Curious. And then if you still didn't get Snow, or somehow didn't want it there, or you can always try to go dig more with Star Yugioh. This is fairly easy to make with this deck as well. Another really good card is Darkness Metal. So basically, this one allows you to target a monster that is banished or in your graveyard and special summon it to a zone this card points to. You can't link summon for the rest of the turn, so ideally you'll probably go into like a synchro summon or an XYZ summon, but that's totally fine. It just lets you, say your opponent banishes your Fairy Tale Snow, this allows you to just get it back and then go off from there. And then the other Link 4s that we're playing, Appaloosa for just a nice monster negate. And then Boral Sword. Since we're going second, you need a decent card. That'll help you OTK. So yeah, that's my updated Chaos Lightsworn deck. Again, kind of the theme of this deck is just blow up the board. And again, we have 12 cards that do that for us and do that very well. It's kind of what this deck does well, is just load up that graveyard and start special summoning those black rows to destroy your opponent's entire board. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you're playing, maybe Fairy Tale Snow or Destrudo in some of your decks. These cards are really fun. Really glad they're back in the game. So yeah, let me know what you think, and we'll catch you on the next one.